Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's DMG, and welcome back to Blitz. And today we have the pleasure of watching some sub replays on Chinese tanks. This first one is from Remedy, from the Moha clan on North America, playing the Glacial 112, the Tier 8 premium Chinese heavy tank, or one of two, should I say, now that the WZ-111 is now in the game. But the Glacial 112, or I'm just going to say 112 for short, was the first one to enter the game, I think around update 3.4. And it was not that good. It was introduced alongside the Blaze, and it just really struggled to do good work. Everyone thought this tank was going to be super good because it had this ridiculous front plate and a good turret. However, when it was first introduced, the engine was, or the fuel tanks were in the front. So every time you shot the lower plate, if you got a chance to shoot at it, it would pretty much set this thing on fire, and it would just light up like very frequently. So it was not a good time for Glacial drivers. Not to mention the cupolas were not too great, and it just made hull down life pretty hard. And while the Glacial has been buffed significantly in terms of its gun, it receives a new gun with APCR, with the standard IS-5, IS 2SH kind of penetration, or even the Defender, right, with that, I think it's 220 something millimeters of APCR penetration, then a heat with 270. That's coming from before with AP with 175 and heat at around 250 maybe, or something like that. Regardless, the gun can penetrate or can punch through a lot more armor. That being said, I still think it has a lot of problems, and I honestly wouldn't really recommend picking a tank like this up from the store should they sell it. You see a great shot there in the AMX M445. That tank is not very armored, and the Glacial's gun is not renowned for being fantastic, but Remedy is able to pull off that shot due to some exceptional ability and technique in that moment. I do think that this map does suit the Glacial a little bit better than, let's say, other heavy tanks, just because there's so many small ridges you can abuse for hull down that you can really accentuate that upper front plate and its strong bouncy nature, unlike, let's say, an IS-3, which you're really trying to go hull down and only show the turret. But that being the case, you can see him getting penned in the cupola there. It's not a very fun time, and hey man, that IS-3 there, you're really able to punch through with your 221 millimeters of APCR penetration that the Glacial has now. You're going to see a very funny moment come up here as Remedy does put in another good shot into that AMX M449. He's had his number the whole game. And this Tiger on your right, if you keep a little bit of a watch on him, he's going to make a very dumb move here, trying to fall down onto the IS-3 there, and does not do a good job in that moment. Gets stuck and pays the price for it. However, that Tiger dies, but right there. But hey, one stupid move for another, right? There's an IS-5 there that gets stuck on another dead tank. So trading one for one in this very similar kind of fate, that IS-5 is going to go down. Unfortunately, he cannot aim the gun down enough to shoot the Glacial, but that's how it goes on Tier 8, right? A bunch of people driving premiums. Still don't really know much about the game. It's pretty much a roll of the dice to see what kind of teams you get when you drive a Tier 8. But Remedy is doing a good job regardless. That's not to say that, the noobs are only on the other team, right? They're on his team as well. So being able to not only deal with noobs on the other team, but deal with them on your team and trying to fight through it all is quite difficult. And he's doing a good job of that here. He takes a shot in the butt, and he needs to push around and kill this RU-251. He misses a shot on the RU-251, so he needs to be quite careful in this moment. It's a 2-on-2 because that IS-5 does manage to take out another red tank. And unfortunately, the Edelweiss is just going to take the IS-5 out of the game, and now it's a 2-on-1. He's on half health. It's it's definitely not a good situation for a Glacial 112 driver. This is where you want to have DPM. This is something that the Glacial does not have in spades whatsoever. He needs to angle to a target, just trying to keep the Edelweiss in front of him. He's willing to take shots from the RU. Just needs to minimize damage as much as possible. This RU is going to play Ring Around the Rosie with him, The Glacial does have the alpha advantage, so any shot to the RU will kill him. I'd go for APCR here because it will be a guaranteed or almost guaranteed pen. Wouldn't risk trying to go for HE. RU screws up in that moment, and Remedy comes around the corner to put into the final shot. APCR has that shell velocity just to catch up with the RU before he accelerates around the corner. Mastery for 4,227 damage with, I believe that's 5 destroyed for a Radley Walters medal. Fantastic stuff there. The next one we're going to see is the T-34-3. This is another Chinese tank. It's another premium, actually. Kind of like the T-34-2. It's Tier 8 Chinese medium. 122 millimeter armament. 400 alpha damage. Quick aim time. Terrible accuracy. Poor gun depression. Kind of like a Russian medium tank, but with worse DPM and more alpha. But this is the best noob from the Asia server, actually. And he's going to show us just how to play this tank. It's a tank that don't really know much about because I haven't really played it. And to be honest with you, Wargaming seems to have been selling a bunch of tanks that have been kind of mediocre. T-34-3, I would say, is actually one of them, despite all the good things that I have just said about it. Along with the 59 Patton, the M4 Revelarice, or the Ravioli. There's just been, I feel like, a few too many duds recently with Wargaming sales, and kind of lost my confidence in buying something. However, I do hear that the Scorpion, that Tier 8 German tank destroyer, that premium, of course, is coming out, along with a few new lines that you can see publicly on blitzhanger.com. I totally recommend you check that out, as you'll be able to see stats for the upcoming Chinese tank destroyer line, as well as the third German super heavy line, with the VK7201K and the Minnie Mouse leading up to it. So, good stuff there, right? Now the T-34-3, quick aim time, does a good job there hitting that comet. The best noob really has to aim in. Thank God the T-34-3 has that aim time and has good enough accuracy to hit that shot. It's not heavy tank accuracy, but it's definitely nothing like a Leopard PTA or an Indian Panzer or something on a Panther II, right? However, you do have a very strong turret that's similar to the Type 59 turret, and something that I really don't like about the T-34-3 is this painfully long reload. He wasn't able to get the shot on an enemy crossing in the open. It's something that you'd expect from a 183 that just fired, but not from a T-34-3 at Tier 8. I mean, it's only a 2-tier difference. And to think before in, let's say, in the 2.0 meta, or like the 1.5 meta, these tanks saw 183s and T-34-3s, had they been in the game at the same time, would have seen each other, and just to have that DPM disparity between Tier 8 and Tier 10, it's just not good, especially going against Tier 9s when you're playing against E75s, M46 Pattons, ST1s. Even though the ST1 and the E75 are not renowned for crazy amounts of DPM, they still do better than the T-34-3, which is a medium tank, even though it's a tier lower. So, would I pick this up? Probably not. The heat penetration is okay. This is one of the tanks where I feel like you need to run calibrated shells just to make sure you pen all your shots, because if you screw one up, you're on a 15-second reload, or 13-second, something like that, right? But then again, if you run calibrated shells, you drop your reload even more. So it's really a lose-lose in this situation, and I don't really feel like there's a good way to get it out. And see, even with using heat, it's not a guaranteed penetration. T-34-3 accuracy is decent, but it's definitely not great by any means. IS coming there, aims down, great shot into the IS, and just needs to go on a reload. And this is where reload may not matter as much, but regardless, you can see the clock ticking down, and if you just feel like if he had more DPM, those targets would be dead faster, and you could advance your game state just a little bit quicker. Poor gun depression is not serving him well there, as he has to poke through the bush if he wants to get those shots. Doesn't really know what to do. Now they're on both sides of him. Needs to come out and aim. Auto aims, fantastic shot there. Maybe a little bit of luck, but preps himself well, pokes around the corner, and hits the IS right on the head. It was not a 2-on-2. It was a 3-on-2, now turned into a 2-on-1. Quite odd this situation is, and now he is, it looks like 2 minutes left and some seconds. He really needs to push in and kill. He recognizes this, and not the best shot again. And if you miss, you're on this 13-second reload, or 14. I can't exactly see the reload time. But that turret there is saving him from the Tiger P. But instead of, I'm more concerned about him putting out damage than I am about him receiving damage, as, you know, the clock's ticking down and he really needs to pressure this Tiger P. Doing a good job of brawling in this moment. Tiger P has bounced 2 shots so far, 3 just now, and he is able to put in another shot into him for another 400 roll. But then again, Tiger P misses, and he's on another 14-second reload. KV4 is coming, and he needs to run away. He cannot shoot. Problem with this tank is that you can't shoot yourself out of this situation, and I do feel like that was quite a lucky bounce right off his butt or his angled side armor right there. That's a great heat round. Perfect choice there to finish off that one shot, and he will now be into the KV4. He needs to make a move. The KV4, if you get alongside it, it shouldn't be too dangerous simply because it wouldn't have the gun depression to shoot down on you, but he's giving him space and allowing him to play. That being said, even though you're not exploiting the weaknesses of the KV4, he's mitigating his own weaknesses because this tank just has such a painfully long reload. I would say it's almost Borsig level, you know, it's just not there. I definitely think another buff to the DPM of this tank would make it decent, despite it doesn't have any gun depression. So using the DPM that you already have is quite difficult. 5 degrees is nothing much to scoff at, and, you know, at that point, I'd rather be driving a T62A, or something like a T62A, correct? That being said, there are other Tier 8 mediums that are similar to this. Think about the T54 Mod 1, which also has 5 degrees of gun depression. Arguably has a better front plate, maybe a slightly worse turret, but just better gun handling, better DPM. T44, more mobility than this tank, much better gun handling, 7 degrees of gun depression. Definitely other options out there that are better, and I'd probably say its most similar counterpart that is not the T34-2, which is pretty much a carbon copy. That's a Tech Tree tank. The Type 59, I believe that's another 7 or 8 degrees of gun depression compared to the -5 you get on this, and you get 300. You get a 100 millimeter, so that's 310 alpha at Tier 8, or 280, something like that. But still, it's not bad. Better gun handling, just more flexibility for you to use this. He's doing a great job here of using bushes, though. That's a fantastic move onto that KV4. Nice putting in a shot and being able to really pressure him. But he really needs to go in this moment. Can't afford to bounce any more shots. Oh, misses there with the AP. Not necessarily the best choice. I would have just kept going for it. Get alongside him. Just eat that shot, right? Because it's not like it's going to make a difference at this point. He really needs to put in a good shot here, and the battle finishes, unfortunately. Not enough time, but still gets the mastery for 4,800 damage and 3 destroyed. I feel like the tank really held you back there, noob, but hey. Well, not to say noob that you're bad, but that's just in your name, right? Anyways, this is the final game we're going to see today. This is the T34-3 again, and this is from Rab68W from the NA server in the clan Cruel. Or at least at this time. I don't know where he's at right now. Could be still in the same clan. Regardless, taking a good position early that I always recommend on Mayan Ruins. Going to the middle area. Getting out your view range to its maximum potential. Giving your team the most effective decision-making ability possible, right? So he's just going to go to this location, spot up targets. Hopefully he gets a shot off. And this is where it's going to be super important, is that if they poke, you have 400 alpha. Granted, like I said, you're still on that 13-second reload, so things could get hairy, and I wouldn't really go rush in here and try to engage 3-4 tanks that he just spotted. However, he's going to go anyway and have a look at this LTTB. Good thing here is that he's top tier, so it's not as important. He can definitely bounce shots if he is up above the LTTB and the other ones. That mutant tries to get across, but its high-profile nature does not compare to the T34-3, and its armor profile on the turret definitely has nothing on it as well. Another nice AP round into the FCM-50T puts him up at around 800 damage, and he is off to the races. Just needs to keep putting out fire in this moment, and he keeps putting out damage in order to, he needs to wear him down, really, right? Putting out damage, just keeping the gun pumping, right? Because this thing doesn't have a lot of DPM, so you need to be firing on the reload. Just every time you're reloading, you're relocating, if necessary, just to get that next shot right on the reload. Does a great job there with HE, killing the LTTB and taking him right out of the game. Good stuff there. I forgot to mention, guys, that I haven't been uploading as recently. I did do a stream, I believe it was yesterday, but I haven't been uploading as recently because Twister Cup has been at the forefront. I am very happy to say that my clan, Straight Aim True, has made it to the online finals, top 8, something that I don't think a lot of people thought we were going to do. So I'm very proud of the team. I think Wargaming is going to give every top 8 team a banner that they can wear, and it allows the public players, just players who are not participating in Twister, to wear the banner as well. You know, even if you're doing quick tournaments or ascent tournaments, you can still wear a clan banner. So in the event Wargaming does follow through and distribute on all of that, I do hope to see all of you subscribers who are on NA, I'm not sure if it applies for Asia, but wearing a Straight Aim True banner. I would love to see that. Showing any kind of support you have for the clan is going to give my team the morale boost it needs to really punch through, right? As we did such a good job yesterday, being able to push past a very strong team that was statistically, I would say, better than us, has had more tournament experience, established, has trained players who have gone to offlines before, so I am quite happy with our performance. But that being said, you know, please wear an Aim True banner. It's really going to help us out. We need all the help we can get, as we are only 23 people strong, fielding one team. Anyways, back to the game with Rab. It is now a 2-on-3 situation, and he is about 2/3 health. You need to be very careful, because when you're using low DPM weaponry and you're in a disadvantaged gun situation, you need to make sure you are using your alpha well, and if you have the opportunity to take out a gun, you can. The Comet does a good job there. He takes out another tank before he dies. Now it's a 2-on-1 situation. So this is possible. There's a Ferdinand and this T-34. This T-34 wants him bad. He misses. Rab hits his shot, and he goes right around him. He needs to escape from this T-34, as, you know, he needs to hunt the Ferdinand in this moment, using his alpha well to create a 1-on-1 situation. He could stay in trade with the T-34, but if he does that and the T-34 puts another shot into him, he becomes a one-shot for the Ferdinand. So it is in his best interest to kill the Ferdinand first while he's still on this amount of HP. See, because the Ferdinand's a one-shot, and if he can kill the Ferdinand without taking any damage in return, he then creates a 1-versus-1 situation and still maintains a 2, possibly 3-shot HP pool for the T-34 instead of making himself a one-shot for any tank, right? So, good move here. Just using the bushes. This is what you need to do. You know, making sure you see them before they see you. And he's using these bushes to his advantage to do that. Just being very safe and careful in this moment. He gets spotted by the T-34, so that's definitely not good. So now the Ferdinand's going to know where he is, and he still hasn't seen the Ferdinand. So being very careful. Oh, is that the Ferdinand? Nope, that's the T-34 again. Oh, actually, excuse me, that is the Ferdinand. Was chasing him in that moment. I'm sorry, the icons are quite small on this screen. So he bounces a nice shot from the T-34, as to be expected, though, because he is above the T-34, and shooting up onto angled armor is an extremely tough pen. So now he comes around the corner. He needs to hit this Ferdinand. He does. Oh, is that the J-Panther? Excuse me, that's the J-Panther. Like I said, tank destroyer, German. I was there 2/3 of the way, right? Anyways, good shot there, but now he is a high roll for that T-34. He needs to try and distance himself. He's using those small little rock ridge right there just to prevent that T-34 to get a shot at him. But now he's stuck. T-34 is more than a 2-shot for him, and, you know, with his not... Oh, a double miss there. But as I was saying, he's a 2-shot, and our hero is a 1-shot. Or within a high roll. And this is where the T-34-3 is not fun, because look at this painfully long reload, and he misses. So now you're on another painfully long reload. And this T-34 bounces as well, but because the T-34 has a shorter reload than the T-34-3, they're probably going to reload at the same time. So this is definitely not good by any means. T-34 is putting the gunner, trying to get the gun around, and Rab does get in a shot into him. He needs to reload again and put in the final shot of the game to kill him. He doesn't get around enough, and the T-34-3 hits him. It's not enough. And, oh my gosh, the Rab low rolls the T-34, and it is not enough. So the T-34 does have the shot advantage here. He just needs to penetrate, and he does not get the gun around in time. But see, those kinds of teeth-clenching situations occur because you just don't have the DPM to shoot your way out of things. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the #2 damage record game in North America, doing 5,200 plus damage in that fantastic round. So great stuff there. If you enjoyed that content, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. I really enjoyed sharing my passion with you today, and I hope to see you next time.